Hello once again. It is Sunday, March 29th, and I'm wearing my official Maize and Blue t shirt and my unofficial other shirt to celebrate Michigan's victory over the team from Tennessee, headed to the Final Four. Michigan is. But that's not why you're here. You're here to hear about the diary of a micro budget filmmaker. And I wish that the word dairy and diary weren't so closely linked together other than the A and the I, because twice I've called this the dairy by mistake when I put it on YouTube. But fortunately, someone out there is got a sharp eye, so I've corrected that. The theme for this week is a little thing called rendering in place. I think I've mentioned this before, but rendering in place means when you have a clip that has got like masking on it. So, for instance, let me just show you a for instance. Did I leave it open? So here is a scene where we've got Clara. And I only show this now because you've seen the trailer, so you know who Clara is and you know who Susie is. And so when we originally shot this scene, I swear I've spent so many hours, literally not hundreds of hours, but 30, 40, 50 hours on basically 3 scenes or 3 shots. So when we shot this, we had a couple pieces of blue tape here, and we were going to put a poster in post-production because I was too cheap to buy the poster. And to be fair, I didn't exactly know for sure what the poster was going to be or where we wanted it on the wall, blah, 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 blah. So we shot it with a couple pieces of tape there just for markers that we were going to use. Well, as it turns out, for reasons that I will now show you. So here's one of the, and it was blue, but see, I've done this thing called object removal, and for some reason it did not remove it right. So you go over to the color page and see, after you render it in place, whatever effects you had on it, whatever nodes disappeared. But for some reason, this is screwed up. This should just look like the rest of the wall, but it doesn't. And it literally took, and I don't know if this is my computer. I mean, my computer's 2 years old, but it has a pretty good NVIDIA graphics card in it, and it's got plenty of RAM, so it just must be a super processor intensive thing here. So this clip is, well, this clip starts here. Sorry for all the technical stuff if you're not interested. It starts at 8:38 and it goes to, so it's about 25 seconds. And this clip took about 45 minutes to render in place. And what happens when you render it in place is when you export it, you go down to delivery and you go into the export. It doesn't have to do all that extra work because it's already been rendered. And so, including this morning, which was about an hour, and starting at about 1:30 this afternoon, and it's now almost 9:30. So I've spent the majority of that time, although in fairness, I did watch a couple basketball games sort of in the background. We've got a TV over there and I've been watching them. But so 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours trying to export, because tomorrow we're going to do some more music work, which is exciting. And we're doing it right here in our house. And so I've got to get the movie ready so we can watch it, we can listen to it. I've got to put a time code on it. So, of course, typically you would take it right from the timeline and you would export it. And so if you shrink it all down, you see all the clips, you see all the music or all the dialogue, and then here's the music down here. And so you would take the whole thing and you would export it. But when I tried to export the whole thing, it crashes. And so I did smaller bits, like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever, still crashed a lot. So my love-hate relationship with DaVinci Resolve continues. And I haven't taken the master class in it other than learning how to edit by doing and looking up either YouTube videos, or I go into Grok or Google Gemini or Chat GPT and ask it questions of how to do stuff, and it tells me. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but it crashes. I don't know. We'll just say it quit working probably 6 times today, 7 times today. And as long as you have your work saved, it's not a big deal, but you're still spending a lot of time just not getting anything done. So I'll show you some secret files since we're getting close to the movie being done. So output. So I've got some files here, and you can see I've got them numbered. So 1, 2, 3, these aren't, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the end credits. So if you add all this up, you see the running time of the movie. And I'm doing these at 1/3 resolution, so they're not super big, which is why these files aren't all that big. So I've had to divide it up into like 7 or 8 parts so I could get it to export. Well, you say, Jack, that's really not going to work when the film is finished. That's an excellent point. And so what I'm going to do in the short term is I'm going to take those scenes, I'm going to save and close DaVinci, and then I've got not another version, but another project open on it. And I'm just going to put those files in, put them back to back to back, and then put the time code on and export those. And I think that's going to work pretty well because everything is done. There's no heavy lifting it has to do. But there are, oh my gosh, just looking at these scenes. I love this scene, love the actresses, but what a pain. There's like 5 shots that I've had to do this with, and it just takes forever. And it's just, every time you do it, it seems to work differently. And oh my goodness. So this is just another temporary thing because I've still got to export this hopefully tonight. But if I don't, I've got another version of it that I can do something with. So like you see here, you don't see anything because it's gone. And here it's still gone. So that's good. So that is what I have been doing a lot of this whole week. 2 other updates or 3 other updates on it's not really bad news, but the person who was going to do the voiceover for a couple of little parts, like 4 lines, she hasn't replied to my email in a month. So I told Brett and Reese that I was going to move on to someone else. So we agreed that it would be someone who was originally had read to be in the movie as speaking in a visible role, but I emailed her and she said she's too busy and she can't do the voiceover. So now there's someone else I know who I'm not going to say her name because not that it'll be a jinx, but 3 strikes and you're out, and I'll do the voice and I'll put it in a filter to make it sound like a woman. No, I won't really, but so that's kind of disappointing. So I've got to do that. Tomorrow we're going to do some more music, which is fun. We're going to try to do some like synthesized strings because right now it's all piano, as I've mentioned, and it's just a little too piano-y. So we'll see how that goes. I ordered the posters. I ordered 3 copies of the poster, which you've already seen, and I used short run posters. And these aren't going to be like super duper. I mean, they're going to be the right size, 27 inches by 40 inches. And I think it's going to look nice. It may not look like 100% like you would if you printed out 1,000 of them. And then it would cost you like $2 a poster because these cost like $19 plus shipping. and I got 10% off, whatever. So it's like $65. And so it was only 50 more cents to ship two of them. And I figured sooner or later we're going to use three for something. So I ordered those. The places got pretty good reviews. I was going to use Poster Ninja or Ninja Poster. I can't remember which. But for one poster on the paper that they recommended, it was like $35, $36. So I opted out of that. So those posters will probably be here. There's no real rush, but I don't know if they'll be here by the end of this week, this Friday, Saturday. If not, they'll come whenever they come. I checked with our local theater. I talked to someone there about showing the movie, and he wasn't excited, but he was super open and willing and everything. He gave me their policy, which is basically I won't give out number figures because your figures may vary if you decide to do this, but there's a flat rate to rent the theater, and that includes 10 people, which doesn't seem like much. But the reason they do that is because, or is it 20 people? Or is it 25 people? I think it's 25 people. Let's say, for instance, it's $200 to rent the theater. And apparently a lot of parents and even like clubs and stuff rent the theater to show movies on the weekend when they're not showing their other movies, their Hollywood movies. And so it's a flat amount, and then over 20 or 25 people, you pay $5 a person. So in my case, the double-edged sword here is that the movies typically, like the Hollywood movies, only cost $6, which I know is a super deal, super theater. They've got very reasonably priced popcorn, even though you don't get refills. But so I'm going to have to charge $10 and then I think my break even is 85, 90 people just to break even. And of course, I didn't make this movie to break even. I made it to lose money. No, not really. So yeah, I hope it would be amazing. And you don't hold me to this because it hasn't happened yet, and I haven't said it will. But if we could get 200 people to come, I would be amazingly overjoyed. And the theater holds like 320 or something like that. A big old theater. It's just not the super stadium seating. Is that what they call it? It's more of the old time, sort of like a stage theater. In fact, there is a stage in it. And so it holds like 320. But if we could get, like I said, 200 people, I would be overjoyed. And we would actually make a little money to start paying off a loan that I have. But even if we don't, as long as we get break even, I'll consider that a success. And because it's in the town that we shot most of the movie in, I'm hoping we'll get a little goodwill and people who want to see it. And maybe you're one of them because maybe you live in Williamston and you're watching this. I am still waiting to hear back from another chain. It's like a regional Midwest chain who I showed a previous movie there, I'm sure, and they haven't gotten back to me. They won't answer emails. So I've tried to call, left a voicemail. So it's kind of frustrating. I even went there last week when we went to see Project Hail Mary. The guy there didn't know. So kind of getting the runaround. And one way or another, very worst case, we'll just show it at Williamston. The problem is that it would have to be on a weekend, or it would have to be like 9:30 at night, which is not great. So a little disappointing there. This I'm seeing now that this is running long because of my editing explanation. So that's pretty much it. I wrote for about less than an hour yesterday. I wrote some more of the next script, and I had planned to write a lot more than that, but I realized that I had to get the clips ready, and this rendering in place is just unbelievable, and the bugs and the crashes. So someday, as I've said, I'll do another review of DaVinci Resolve because I'm convinced that the people on YouTube who I've watched a lot of reviews with, and most of them are glowing and showing you how to do this and that. Yes, if you're doing a 30-second commercial or a 5-minute short or something without even minimal special effects. I mean, these are hardly even considered special effects. But oh my goodness. So if I make a bunch of money from this film, I will buy a new computer. Also today I did look at some film like distributors like Film Hub. There's one called the Movie something. I was not super impressed with the trailers for the movies that they have on their website that they distribute and get on streaming services and stuff like that. So still doing that homework. When the movie is 100% complete, I will get serious about sending out the trailer and others. Trailer's doing well. It's the people who have watched it enjoy it, I would say. I won't qualify that. All right, I think that's it. I appreciate you guys watching. Someone asked me when and where it's going to be available, either streaming or theater or whoever, whatever, and still don't know, but I will let you know if you keep watching these and subscribing, and you could tell a friend while you're at it. That would be awesome. Until then, a week from now, I hope to have the posters. If the posters do come, I'll just show you, or I'll talk about the quality. Don't think they will. Hopefully we'll be close. I don't think we'll be done with the music unless, well, I'll just say no, we won't be. And oh my gosh, one other thing, the end credits. It's like the simplest thing. I've got cards for like the first 5, like directed, written, and then the starring. We decided, well, recent Brett decided, and I agreed a little reluctantly, but not really, just to do very simple credits with no pictures. So we've got those, and then we have like a minute and a half of rolling credits, very minimal. And again, I don't understand DaVinci. Maybe if I looked at some tutorials, I would understand. But what should be a simple matter of putting in the thing, telling it where to start, where to stop, how fast to go. But it's just so buggy and it just doesn't work. You can't make it go up and down on the screen like you want to. Eventually you can. So that was a waste of... I even put the credits into Blender, and I was going to just render them out there, and I still could. It renders way even slower than DaVinci. So that is my long report for Sunday night. And thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you again next week.